Alright guys, so a bit of a different video for today. I have been seeing this video float around quite a bit from Gameology, or Gamology, however you want to pronounce it. People are calling this the worst review of Sparking Zero ever. Big thanks to Arm& Hammer for pointing this video out to me. I wanted to check it out for myself for watching their video. Make sure you go subscribe to them. But I wanted to check this video out because apparently it's the worst Sparking Zero review ever, like bar none. It completely misses the point of the game, that sort of thing. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into this, but if you go on to enjoy the video, like and subscribe, because at 15,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away a copy of Sparking Zero to 3 lucky subscribers. Without further ado, let's jump into it.
Can you spot what's wrong with these two Dragon Ball Z games? They show the same scene, Goku and Vegeta battling it out in a Utah-looking desert. It's a classic clash that took DBZ into the modern era. And with the new engine, you can likely pick out which one is the newest game, Sparking Zero. But which one is the second newest?
Is this a joke? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're asking which one is the second newest? Maybe it's the one that controls faster, has a bit of more of a modern HUD, and the one that has, you know, a bigger stage, brighter colors. You know, I think that's a big dead giveaway to which one's the second newest Dragon Ball game. But even then, these answers are all wrong, because the second newest Dragon Ball game is Kakarot. So,
Does the gameplay look different?
okay, well now I know exactly where we're coming from here, saying this is the worst review. Right off the bat, yes, the gameplay looks different, because we have a combo going on over here on Razor Blaster on the top left. We have Vegeta, again, attempted to fight back. Actually, let me describe this better, right? So, we have a combo system, a slow and stagnant combo system in Razor Blast 2. It's set in like a 2.5D type camera angle. This is set from the back, like back toward the opponent. Same with Xenoverse 1 in the bottom left corner. And again, these games look different. Skyboxes are different. Environment looks different. It's just, you can clearly tell which one's the newer game. And then also, Burst Limit doesn't even qualify this category because Burst Limit doesn't play in the traditional sense of a 3D anime fighter because it's boots to the ground, 2.5D, that sort of thing. But yeah, you can tell which games look different, I'm just saying that.
Faster? Smoother? Tighter? Closer to the source material? Besides the graphics, it's almost impossible to tell.
What? I'm going to rewind that just to make sure I heard that right.
Source material? Besides the graphics, it's almost impossible to tell.
Excuse me. So, besides from graphics of a Dragon Ball game, it's impossible to tell which is which. You're not serious. Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2 are miles different. And this is coming from someone who has played them both. Xenoverse 1 is slower, more methodical, less combo orientated. It's you do one combo and you follow it up with a super attack. Xenoverse 2 allows you to experiment and follow together different super attacks and melee attacks into one giant combo and encourages stamina breaks that finish the match off. It becomes a match of conserving stamina and saving your vanishes. Burst Limit is a 2.5D fighter, along the lines of, if you want to make a good popular comparison, I'd say Tekken. I'd say that's the best comparison, well, the most similar comparison when it comes to Burst Limit's gameplay, and Raging Blast 2. Raging Blast 2 is just a slower and more stagnant and less responsive version of the Budokai Tenkaichi gameplay formula. And these games, I should reiterate, do not play alike in the slightest. Even sequels, like Xenoverse 2 is night and day to Xenoverse 1.
And that's a problem. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is looking to switch up the DBZ Arena Fighter formula. But the truth is, it fails to switch up the formula at all. There have been...
But that's not what we want, though. We've had the formula switched up. We've had Raging Blast. They literally confirmed that Raging Blast was, a successor. It wasn't, and it tried to change things up. It tried to go for a more simpler and linear approach to combat system, something that was more digestible. But again, as history dictates, it failed. And Burst Limit was meant to be a successor to the Budokai games, but it was rushed and it wasn't finished. That's why it ends at the Cell Saga. And Xenoverse, again, was built up off the foundation that Battle of Z set up. Battle of Z was meant to go in its own direction entirely. And when people saw the popularity of Battle of Z and how people enjoyed the co-op aspect of it, they wanted to capitalize on that, and that's why Xenoverse was born, because it blended together the combat and combo system of the Tenkaichi games and the co-op dynamic action of Battle of Z, whilst also giving a new mechanic that people enjoyed from Ultimate Tenkaichi, which was create a character. So I don't think I can necessarily agree as a game developer that not going back to an old formula is necessarily a bad thing, considering it's what people have wanted for about 15 years now. It's just a matter of fact, and you can clearly see from the response by content creators, fans, and it currently being at the top of Steam sales that it was a very smart move, and it was something the fans have been waiting for.
Well over 100 titles in the DBZ franchise, from the sublime to the absurd. But when Dragon Ball started using a boilerplate arena fighter template back in 2002 with the introduction of the Budokai series, the franchise has felt like it's been stuck in a hyperbolic time chamber. With over 20 different DBZ arena fighters released in the
You're probably wondering what I'm saying right now. You say arena fighters, and you have, excuse my language, but you have fucking Dragon Ball Legends, a gacha game, not set in an arena, a strategy gacha game. You have Dragon Ball Fighters, a 2D Axis fighting game that's not set in an arena, and nor does it have this anywhere near the same level of gameplay as Budokai, Budokai 2, Budokai 3, Infinite World. These games just don't have any correlation to each other outside of having the term Dragon Ball in it and having Dragon Ball characters. It just feels like you're just categorizing Dragon Ball games as a whole to just arena fighters and nothing more, when that couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, there are some Dragon Ball arena fighters, but you can't just say that all of these games. Let me see the full list.
past 20 years?
You have Burst Limit, Budokai 3, Budokai 2, Budokai 1 here. Why do you not have Tenkaichi 2 and 1? They are arena fighters, as you say. Why do you have the games that are clearly not belong to that category? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? Is Okay, no, I'm not going to insult because I'm better than that. I don't want to start insulting someone who clearly might not be familiar with the franchise, but still, this is just this is already pissing me off. It's been a minute in.
Sparking Zero promises to be more of an exercise in nostalgia than an actual competitive fighting game.
But she's got a new hat.
Dragon Ball fans deserve better.
What the fuck do you mean? Deserve better? This is the best we've... Deserve better. Yeah, that's why, like, everyone and their mother is pre-ordering the game. That's why everyone and their mother is buying the game, you know? We deserve better, huh? We didn't see fucking Dragon Ball Kakarot at this level of popularity and fame, which is unfortunate because it's underrated. We didn't see Xenoverse 2. We didn't see Xenoverse 2 rise to the top of Steam charts, did we? We did not see such I want to say absurd amount of success and popularity for a Dragon Ball game in a very long time. So tell me, why do we, if we deserve better than Sparking Zero, what can qualify as better? This is what we've been asking for.
Full disclosure, I've been a huge Dragon Ball fan since I stumbled across it on Spanish Access Television when I was 10 years old. I love Dragon Ball. It means more to me than any other animated franchise. I name my cat Piccolo and sometimes dress him up like Lord Beerus. That's why I need Dragon Ball Z to do better. Looking back on the past is comforting, but we can't live in it forever.
Again, you've literally put the perfect example of this. The past is so important to a game developer, especially one that's trying to make a good Dragon Ball game. I look on the screen right now, you'll see Battle of Z. I mentioned earlier, Battle of Z was the foundation for the Xenoverse series' success. Because it set an example as to what a Dragon Ball game could do if we polished it enough as a co-op fighter, a co-op arena fighter. And we did, and that's why we have one of the best-selling Dragon Ball game sequels of all time. Xenoverse 2 basically took what Xenoverse 1 did well and perfected it. It made it so much better, it polished it. It was just, like or hate it, Xenoverse 2 is a staple for the franchise now because we learned from our past mistakes with Battle of Z and Xenoverse 1. The past is so important because without it, how are you supposed to learn how you can do better or what can work? It's comforting. If it's comforting, then that means you're doing something right and you don't need to change. We don't need to move past something if it works. Do you know what I mean?
We deserve either a transformative leap forward for the series or a sequel to the only transcendent Dragon
Ball Fighters is a very, very good Dragon Ball game, but Arxis are not a Dragon Ball exclusive company. If you don't know who Arxis are, they work on Guilty Gear, they've worked on BlazBlue, they do quite a lot of fighting game series. Another example was DNF Duel. We don't need a sequel to Dragon Ball Fighters just because it's a 2D fighter. I think we deserve a Dragon Ball game that gives us an evolved version of what past fans have been liking. We've wanted Raging Blast 3 for a while, and our fans have wanted Budokai Tenkaichi 4. So, Sparking Zero sets to be the game that modern fans can cling to and older fans can enjoy. Xenoverse 2 is a staple for fans who prefer the Battle of Z or team-orientated combat style and also custom character creation. Kakarot serves to the fans as an introduction to the story and people who enjoy RPG elements. There is nothing wrong with having good Dragon Ball games in different categories. I don't understand why we need to change things that one person or a select faction of people don't like. Having these different options available as a Dragon Ball fan is a blessing, and it's really, really good that we get to pick and choose from all of these very, very strong titles like this.
Dragon Ball game over the last decade. I've played Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and unfortunately, my fears were confirmed. This is deja vu all over again.
So you're telling me because the game has a... Oh, hold on, am I missing something?
My fears were confirmed. This is
This is the Dragon Ball game that has the Super Saiyan
deja
transformation in
vu
it.
all over again.
What? Okay, look. The controls are fully customizable, and the controls are meant to be difficult to handle at first. This is what the point is. You're not supposed to just immediately know how to play the game. You step in, you learn as you go, and then you get put, much like Goku, I don't know, like, I'm using a cheesy example here, but learn as you fight. The more you play, the better you get. You start doing cool things, you start doing cool combos, you start, just... The games need to have an element, an incentive to learn, otherwise you're stuck aboard because you know everything. Knowing something leads you to knowing more, if that makes sense.
Now, the Sparking Zero graphics are the best they've ever been, and I applaud them for having destructible environments and trees that sway when hit with ki power, but graphics alone do not make a game. When you dissect the match, it's much slower than it looks. Real impact and damage is far apart, and it doesn't have the back and forth, keep them guessing momentum battles of top.
Yes, it does! The whole gimmick of the Tenkaichi games was it was a back and forth. Even when you was getting comboed, the opponent had equal chance to come back from it. You never knew if he was truly in the lead or not, and that's what made Tenkaichi so strong, because it was never just, oh, you got touched and now you die, which is an issue in games like Fighters and Xenoverse 2. It's a matter of you don't know if you're fully in control, and that anxiety and that anticipation to see your opponents move is what made the game so fun. So to say that this game's lacking in that, when there's gameplay footage of this clearly not being the case, is absurd.
Top fighting games.
Also, get on the night out of there, bro. You have not played that game.
We're seeing stagnation in the gameplay sphere, where Sparking Zero is extremely similar to the last several dozen Dragon Ball Arena fighters.
Name one. Several dozen. Several dozen. Okay. Budokai Tenkaichi was originally called Sparking, right? Now, take a wild guess what Sparking Zero means when we've had 3 games. It's not like they could, I don't know, be a revival of the series that has a gameplay formula that they'd want fans to be accustomed to, whilst also adding in new elements, you know? It's not like, you know, they wanted to keep things similar but new at the same time, like most creators have been reporting.
It was more like the return of the EA Sports College Football.
What? Why is this comparison? Oh my god. Return of EA Sport. Who plays EA Sports unironically? You only play that shit because it's free on the Game Pass, bro.
Franchise than a new spin on Dragon Ball. Updated graphics with familiar controls.
That's good. That is good. Why would you want a game, no less a long-awaited sequel, to have unfamiliar controls with good graphics? Wouldn't you benefit more from a game that you're familiar with, that you can get familiar with if you're new, whilst also having easy to learn, and, or hard to learn, easy to master type controls? Sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm just very annoyed. You get what I mean, though.
And I need to talk about those controls because if you've ever wondered what it's like to be one of the Z fighters, turn elsewhere because the
What?
controls are not great. Dragon Ball is at its best when it delivers on fighting and yelling. In Sparking Zero,
No. See, this is how you can tell when someone's not an actual fan of the series. It's like, oh, Dragon Ball delivers on fighting and yelling. You don't mean, you know, the choreography of the fight, the incredible looking energy blasts, the personality that a character's technique has, you know, the martial art. Dragon Ball isn't just fighting and yelling. Sure, it's predominantly known for that, but there's so much more to this series, and stereotyping it as just fighting and yelling it just shows ignorance on your part.
does have a dedicated yell button.
Key charge.
Yelling makes your special bar max
Oh my god, just say it. Key charge, bro. It's not fucking difficult.
out. And then you can pull off bigger moves and Kamehamehas. But it comes at the cost of pacing. Powering up freezes you in place while your special bar.
My god, yes, that is the point. That is what all the games have done. That was the consequence of powering up. You were vulnerable. That is called a vulnerability. If you aren't vulnerable when charging key, it becomes an exploit. You need to strategize, plan when to charge, when it's safe. It's not... Oh, my god.
bar fills up, leaving you vulnerable to attack.
Yes, exactly.
Sure, that's part of DBZ, but it still makes the game feel clunky. And here's why. It's because the controls are too complex for casuals.
I want to watch. I want to stop watching this video, bro. Okay, no. Let me let him finish. Let me let him finish.
But not technical enough for hardcore gamers.
Too complex for casuals, but not technical enough for hardcore game. Which is it? Which lane are we driving in, bro? What are we talking about? Oh my god! Wait, how can it be too complex for casuals when there's not only a training mode, there's a tutorial, there's there's a fucking guidebook. There's so many things to educate you on how to play this game. And content creators will be teaching you as well how to play this game if you're unsure. The whole point of casual players is that you play this game for fun, and there's difficulties to help enable you and get you introduced to the game. It's not just a set difficulty for the game where you just have to adapt to, you know, hard difficulty. They'll be easy for you to get introduced to it. There'll be tutorials to help you learn. It's just... You have no excuse to say that the game is too hard or the controls are too difficult when there's so many resources to help you learn and pick this up. And I've not heard any of the hardcore gamers quote... And let's give an example. I've seen Rhymestar, I've seen Sirius, I think that's how you say his name. they've played the game and they said if you know how to play Budokai Tenkaichi 3, then you'll know how to play this game. So it's not good. It's familiar and it has technicalities because there's new mechanics introduced to this game to make it stand out. There's still stuff for old-fashioned fans to learn. It's not just in black and white for them. It's just there's an incentive to pick up on these new things for older fans, whilst there's an incentive to learn for newer fans, if that makes any sense.
It's been 20 years since Dragon Ball Budokai 1, and transitioning from ground to air combat is still awkward.
Budokai 1 was the first fucking game in the installment. The first. How, in any sense of the imagination, is it fair to compare a first game to a sequel?
Locking on doesn't feel right. Ascending and descending could be streamlined.
But
and it's not always clear if you whiffed a beam because of something you did, or if you just weren't on the right plane.
you're shooting into a brick wall, you fucking dolt. Oh my... oh my god, this is so dumb. This is hard to watch. I've never seen a review that's been so annoying since IGN.
You might even find yourself fighting underwater, but doesn't slow you down or change any.
No, that's cap. That is so fucking cap. That is cap. You are slow underwater. When you're knocked down, you slowly float to the ground. You charge keys slow underwater. That is it. Those are the three changes. It changes a lot more than you would think, to the point where you have to get out of the water to charge key faster. It is literally a detriment for you staying underwater. There is a disadvantage. So to say it doesn't change anything at all is just blatantly a lie. Like, anyone would know that if you've played the game.
Anything at all. It just puts on a slightly different filter. The best fighting games, like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Under Night In-Birth, feel like you're mimicking character motion, gathering power, and pushing a button to release it. There's an emphasis on frame advantage, timing, and spacing that can mean the difference between victory and defeat.
But those are not arena fires. Well, Tekken is an arena fire. Yeah, it was Under Night in Street Fighter. You're giving two more examples that are 2D fighters. Okay, sure, okay.
Becomes more of a dance at a higher level. Meanwhile, Sparking Zero feels like you're controlling a tank from very far away, and it's frustrating. Even the best fighting games can sometimes devolve into button mashing.
Okay. I can clearly tell you've not fucking played Guilty Gear at all, bro. The whole point of Guilty Gear, Strive specifically, is that it punishes you for button mashing. The whole incentive of Guilty Gear Strive is to have consistent timing on your inputs and to, discourage you button mashing. Because if you button mash, your inputs come out slower. And that is a fact. I learned this the hard way when I was playing Baiken, when I was playing Chip Zenith, when I was playing Taikisuke, when I was playing Soul Bad Guy. I learned this the hard way, that button mashing was not the way to go. You have to time your inputs, you have to learn. Again. And this is the same example with Sparking Zero. This game will discourage you from button mashing as it limits what you can do in this game. It will encourage you to experiment on your own with your own inputs. Trust me on that.
But this is so counterintuitive that it borders on parody, which, hey, might be appropriate. Have you ever watched a Dragon Ball fight? It's all fast punches that don't hit, a knockdown, and a...
Yeah, again, you can tell this guy's not an actual Dragon Ball fan, and he's just an absolute fraud because he's not seen OG Dragon Ball, where it wasn't just fast punches, there's technique, there's strategy, there's incentive, there's encouragement. Sure, there's some fast punches and maybe an occasional knockdown, but there's also energy blasts, there's also, banter, there's all sorts of elements and factors that play into a fight and how good it is. Best case example is the OG Dragon Ball fight between Goku and Piccolo Jr. That was regarded as one of the greatest fights in the series. This is just someone who's only watched Dragon Ball Z and nothing else, which is kind of insulting to the whole franchise because watching only one sector of it and not the entire product is just testament to how ignorant this kind of person is. You have to give a series a chance, not just judge it from face value. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Beam to finish it. It's awesome to
A beam to finish it. Tell me, what finished the fight between Goku and Saiyan Saga Vegeta? Hmm? Was it a beam? Sure, the beam clash was one of the most popular things, but was it what finished the fight? What finished the fight between, I don't know, Kid Goku and Demon King Piccolo? What finished the fight between Kid Buu? That wasn't a beam. You get the point by now. I'm not gonna wail in on it.
watch. But when you're watching Goku punch so fast that those frames repeat, or is moving faster than your eyes can clock, that's primarily so animators don't have to draw as much. But it doesn't translate well to gameplay. Playing it is a different beast. It sucks all the energy out of something that, in the anime, was deliberately paced that way to save budget. So, what does Sparking Zero have going for it? Well, for one, there's a huge roster. Unfortunately, there's almost no character differentiation.
I'm so tempted to just end the video. I really am. I can't take this level of ignorance and stupidity. Like, genuinely.
A lot of the characters share animations and combos.
Because both characters had to know the technique and use it in the series, maybe? I don't know. Maybe a bit of brain power might help give you that revelation. Not too sure there, though.
Functionally, there are probably closer to a dozen or so character types, and that's being generous.
There's actually a total 5. There's Speed, Strength, Ki, I think Ki was one of them. There's Android and Giant. There's 5 types in total.
With 182 slots, who's champing at the bit to play characters like Nail and Kakunsa?
Again, you don't know the fandom. Someone might be really hyped for Kakunsa. Again, I'm looking forward to playing Kakunsa. Nail is also a character who a lot of people actually like. Because, you know, he has some cool techniques in the original Budokai Tenkaichi 3 game. Again, don't just assume that no one wants a character, because there's going to be at least a portion of the fan base who are very excited to see that character be included in the first place.
If they're gonna go all out, I want some crazy characters. Bulma and a robot.
I can't do this. Bulma in a robot. Bulma in a robot. That's not a...
Taco's shirt.
Krillin with the hair is actually in the game. Although not the taco shirt Krillin. You know, it's Krillin with the hair. DBS Krillin. He's in the game. He just doesn't have the shirt.
Krillin. World Tournament.
He is also in the game. He's not playable, but he's present as the actual World Tournament announcer. You can see him in the World Tournament stage when you use an attack that's going to destroy the stage. He tells everyone to leave.
Announcer. Farmer with a shotgun.
Okay, this is one I can excuse. Farmer Shotgun is a fun inclusion.
Pay tribute to Toriyama by having one of his self-inserts be playable.
But this is not what you're understanding. So, when working on this game for what, like 4 to 5, 6 years, I don't think in those 6 years any of the creators or cast were predicting that he would pass away within this year. So unfortunately, I don't think there really was enough time for them to pay tribute to Toriyama in this way. Again, we don't know for sure if there is any tribute to him. Hopefully there is, but again, you can't expect people to anticipate that someone is going to, you know, pass away when games take years to make. These things, you don't just know these things are going to happen. Anything could happen in game development.
There's an aspect of power scaling in Sparking Zero that's supposed to reflect the show's lore. Someone like Super Saiyan Blue Goku hits several times harder than Yamcha, which he well should, but that's a poor substitute for balance.
But stay with me, people. The Tenkaichi games are not supposed to be balanced. We've had this mentioned to us before. These games will not be balanced, as they will reflect what it would be like to face those characters in the series. If Broly is supposed to be almighty powerful, then he's going to be reflected to show this way by having weaker characters struggle against him. Again, Tenkaichi series is not known for balance, and it's not going to be known for balance. Let's just get that across.
Other games represent power differential matchups by showing different moves and impact. Still, because every Sparking Zero character feels
Why is what? Why is this? What is this image? Why is Super Saiyan Bardock from? Why is the Dokkan render of Bardock here? What?
the same with only slight differences, the best we can hope to get is the occasional character-specific power-up animation. But exploring a bunch of different martial arts styles, whether it's MMA or drunken boxing, brings life into fighting games. Street Fighter VI launched with 18 characters. For the most part, they played differently and
No, they all Street Fighter characters all play the same. I'm not sure if you know this. Again, probably a bold take from me, but I've played Street Fighter since 4. They all have basically the same kind of principle. They have light, medium, heavy. The only thing that changes is their inputs and what those inputs do. You have charge characters, you have quarter circle characters, you have grapplers. Again, these characters all play the same. What makes them special is their special moves. And again, Sparking Zero also has this sentiment. Although the characters fundamentally may all play the same, it's their special moves and gimmicks that make them stand out.
oozed with unique styles. Grapplers, rushdown characters, zone types, stance types, and a bunch more.
But again, you're not mentioning the fact that, these are characters that can only get these abilities through special moves. Not something that's included in their base kit.
Chun-Li has a different philosophy behind her than Zangief and demands a different playstyle. This doesn't really seem to be the case in Dragon Ball.
Okay, well you're showing Hercule here, who fundamentally plays different than most characters in the entire game. He has an RNG element to him, he has 2 unique buff animations, and he's the only one of the only characters in the game, or one of the few characters in the game, that cannot shoot ki blasts, but can only shoot rocks, and cannot fly. So, kind of a fun example you're giving here.
Where all characters are slight variations of Goku.
I would say all characters. A large chunk of the roster is going to be Goku, because guess what? He's the main character of the series. That shouldn't surprise you, and considering you glaze fighters so hard, that shouldn't surprise you either.
Sparking Zero only has 2 archetypes, normal and big.
Okay, I'm not going to reiterate, but again, 5 types. Giant, Android, Strength, Speed, Ki.
It's not an entirely new mechanic, but it was a bit different to play as Uzaro Vegeta, a giant ape form that moved very slowly and had harder punches. But the controls are so floaty and tanky to begin with, it felt more frustrating than anything.
But the whole point of giant characters is that you're meant to have that difficulty implemented. You're not supposed to be able to easily be able to hit your opponent as a giant. If you were, that would make you borderline unstoppable at times. The whole point of a giant character is to be slow and struggle to hit small targets because, giant characters are bigger than normal characters. Smaller targets will naturally be harder to hit. You know what I mean? And the controls are fine, so if playing as a giant character is slower and punishes me for having a big power-up boost and size increase, then by all means, that's perfectly fine.
So once you've played one character, you've basically played them all. Dragon Ball Z games might be all about fighting and yelling, but
Fighting and yelling, We can tell someone's not played Kakarot, Kakarot is another game where it's not just fighting and yelling, but exploring the world, talking to people, interacting with characters Goku would never normally interact with, and Vegeta, and Piccolo, and Gohan. But no. Let's go off this philosophy that all games are just about fighting and yelling. All Dragon Ball games are just fighting and yelling, Let's take away all the personality that this series has. Just ignore that. Nah. That's all it is. So ignorant, dude.
Dragon Ball as a whole is so much more. And the games have a hard time bringing that sense of fun and confidence to the forefront.
Okay, sure. Again, Kakarot, Dragon Ball Fighters, even though that game was quite literally just fighting and yelling, that game has personality and substance for its story mode. Its avatars oozing with charms. It's this unique art style we've never seen before. There's also the interactions between characters that make it, unique and fun to see what they say to each other. Also the team chemistry, you know what I mean. And then again, Kakarot having Goku interact with people he'd never normally talk with, the adventure aspect of the game. And also with Xenoverse 2, it breathed life into characters that are usually just killed off pretty quickly, like Dodoria, Zaban. Even movie characters like Cooler and Raditz, your character interacting with them in the Time Nest, or not Time Nest, the Hantan City, that was personality within the Dragon Ball game. It wasn't just, fighting and yelling. There was still personality, and Sparking Zero has that personality in its goddamn main menu. You know what I mean? The main menu is perfect. It oozes with personality and fun and confidence. There's just so much to offer with that game. Oh god, here we go. What is this?
Goku himself is heavily influenced by Journey to the West. With his monkey tail, super strength, and martial arts abilities, as well as his mischievous nature, Goku is a modern-day Sun Wukong. As a matter of fact, Sun Wukong translates to Son Goku in Japanese, and the first Dragon Ball series especially reflects that. It's far more grounded and focused on exploration. There are moments along the way that would be perfect for a new game. For all the talking cats and horny sidekicks Goku might come across, there's a sense of world building that's missing when it's conveyed solely through punching.
You just said it was but martial arts is literally the soul and core of Dragon Ball. There's an entire saga in Dragon Ball where Roshi disguises himself as Jackie Chun so that he can beat Goku and stop him from getting arrogant because he was winning so much. It's martial arts is the key to Goku's growth and why he's the way he is. Oh my god.
The anime hinges on big moments and relationships, like escaping the Red Ribbon Army with Bulma, or meeting Yamcha for the first time, or just how many bonds were formed during the first World Martial Arts Tournament. This game strips out all the context for these deep, meaningful friendships that the Z family is built on.
The main menu begs to differ. Like, legit, the main menu has that in spades. It has everyone. Dende, Zeno, Roshi, Bulma, Chi-Chi, Pilaf Gang. There is so much soul in the main menu that conveys everything that these characters are going through. But to say that this is lacking in Sparking Zero is you're just ignorant of that fact.
I don't fault Sparking Zero for being one thing, or turning
Sparking Zero is more than one thing. It not only has just a battle mode, it has a story mode that's quite linear since the focus wasn't on story. It has custom modes, you can make your own what ifs or make your own battles. It has online modes, so you can go online with your friends. It has online tournaments. It has custom tournaments. It has CPU versus CPU. It has an encyclopedia if you're not familiar with the characters, with commentary from the cast. It has a Dragon Ball collecting system, it has a level up system, it has a shop system. It's not just one thing, bro. Like, this is the most ignorant review I've ever seen.
it into a gameplay type, but Dragon Ball is many things. You might think, well, Sparking Zero has a dedicated story mode, but at this point we've seen it.
But it has what ifs. These games do not, with the exception of Budokai and Infinite World, they had what ifs. Actually, Budokai Tenkaichi had what ifs as well. And like Kakarot's there. Oh my god, dude. This guy's such a hypocrite.
Dragon Ball games tread the same ground until it's paved over.
But like, this is the core story of the game. And Sparking Zero doesn't even waste that much time on it. It glosses it over because it's not the focus. It's straight up in what it presents. I mean, it gives you an idea of what is happening. It doesn't just drown you in story like cutscenes and stuff. And when something is important, it will let you know. And you can even make your own choices. You can bend the story to your whim. These games don't offer that, or these games on the right side don't offer that.
The Game Boy games, Legacy of Goku, retold the Z story, but had Goku punching wolves.
Is that supposed to be a good thing? That Legacy of Goku was a more RPG influenced way of retelling the story? Or is it a bad thing? You can't just say that Legacy of Goku had Goku punching wolves in the story.
Kakarot retold the Z story in its entirety. Xenoverse retold the story with some what if and time travel elements, and
No, there's no what if and time travel elements. The whole point of Xenoverse was that the story is supposed to be normal, but there is someone fucking things up. No time travel bullshit. It's that someone is messing up the timelines. We need you, a time patroller, to go take a look and deal with what's happening. Help history get back on track. You know what I mean? And you can qualify as that time travel, sure. But it's just so stupid to say that it's granted just what if elements when it's clearly not just that.
Included a somewhat lacking create a character.
What, this is Xenoverse 1? They would. Oh my god, dude. Does this guy like immediately. Did this guy like pick up Black Ops 1 and go, this game's not the best. I mean, it's quite lackluster. Like, bro, this is the first installment.
Sparking Zero also has a story mode, but it'll be thin because we've seen it before.
But there's what if segments. You're ignoring that because your point is mute otherwise.
Where are the well thought out stories that challenge the player's perceptions rather than regurgitate it?
When did they ever do that? When were these stories ever designed to challenge the player's perception? Tell me when. What game has just done that? Like, it was designed to tell a story. It wasn't designed to challenge perception. What the fuck? What kind of sentence is this?
Heck, where's the story of Dragon Ball Pre-Z?
You mean OG Dragon Ball? There's actually an entire game dedicated for that, and it was on the Nintendo Wii. They tried that, but the game didn't sell well, so they never did it again. So,
How far will we get in the manga? Will we
well, they've mentioned the manga. They can't do the manga because there's complications involving it. So,
get manga-only characters like Moro? Why not play through some of the less loved but still incredible movies like Super Android 13? Or have Janemba's Hell as a stage?
because yeah, the stage thing is one genuine thing I will say is an issue. The lack of stages is definitely cause for concern, but I imagine they will get the game released first and then settle things there, but otherwise, yeah. But at the end of the day, we have a custom battle mode, so if there's something in the game that you wanted to see, you can literally make it yourself and tailor it to how you want it to be. You know what I mean? That's the magic of custom stage. If there's something you wanted in the game that's not there, well, you've got the resources. Let's just see what you can do. You know what I
What
mean?
about a baseball mode? There's so much.
Bro, who the fuck is playing a baseball? If you want to play baseball mode, if you want to do anything that's slice of life or anything that's fun in terms of like outside of combat, you have Dragon Ball Kakarot. You can drive cars as Goku. You can do so much as stupid shit as characters in Kakarot.
Ancillary content in the Dragon Ball world that is ripe for an adaptation that unfortunately will be left out for the greatest hits. And it could be a better love letter and feel like less of a money grab if they were acknowledged.
Isn't the whole point of bringing back a beloved sequel to, you know, sell a good game, like get money? You know what I mean? Saying a game's a money grab is like saying water hydrates you. Well, no shit, it does. That's what it does. You know what I mean? Developers make games not only for passion in some instances, but to make a profit. That's why video games are even made these days, because not only can they sell well, but they also lead into all sorts of success avenues like further sequels, ad branches, collaborations, that sort of thing.
Instead, we just get Frieza blowing up Krillin for the millionth time. In my opinion, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a
Oh my god, he's doing tricks on it? Oh my god, can we stop sucking our fighters for the 5th time? Oh my god.
much better use of the license and still has a robust, dedicated fan base after 6 years.
Because we really wanted netcode and we really want Arxis to do something instead of just abandoning the game, you know.
Ultimately, a sequel to that series would be a better overall direction for the franchise.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Because Dragon Ball FighterZ is fine on its own. A sequel would just, you know, it would just be this game again. And then you complain like, why are we just doing things that we did in the past? We need to do something different. We just this no matter what the Dragon Ball franchise does next, you'd still complain that, oh, it's just like the last one or it's too similar. Like there's no pleasing fans like you at all. And that is why they don't that's why they don't make sequels that frequently anymore.
It's had just one main release and a handful of DLC over the last 6 years, and is a fresh take on the series, which is weird considering it's a 2D fighter.
It's not. We've had 2D Dragon Ball fighting games in the past, like Okay, dude. It's not a fresh take, it's a take that was well thought out and polished. And it was developed by people who are very, very familiar with the fighting game genre. Arxis are very familiar with this type of, category of game. So letting them lead the project on Dragon Ball Fighters was genius because now we have a successful 2D fighting game for Dragon Ball. But I don't see how this is relevant to Sparking Zero, considering Sparking Zero is a 3D arena fighter.
It's fast-paced and competitive, so much so that it had a presence at the EVO tournament for 5 of the last 6 years. There are 44 characters, and for the most part, they play differently and include some fighting game archetypes that aren't present in Arena Fighter.
Okay, they play differently, but they all have the same core control scheme at the end of the day: light, medium, heavy. Sure, there's different variations of it, but the core character plays the same. If you keep spamming the X button over and over again, you will get the exact same light combo into down heavy. If you keep spamming Y over and over again, you'll get the exact same special combo that leads into a super. And if you spam B over and over again, or heavy, you'll get the exact same heavy combo that leads into a down slam. All characters can play the same. It just depends on their special moves and how you play them. Like a certain series that is in the title of this video.
It's relatively balanced with only a few insanely OP characters, but they...
You can't just say it's relatively balanced with only a few insanely OP characters, then it's not balanced, then is it, you dipshit? It's not balanced if it has only a few OP characters. I'm pretty sure everyone's OP in that game now because of the recent patch.
literally just released a patch for that. And the graphics are still gorgeous. 84 stages, and the menus clunky. That's true for most Dragon Ball games. Some of them are nostalgia, like all I know who's kind of Man, would be a whole ass level of Budokai. Why can't the Budokai series just be the fans we all came to see in the Fighters does the same thing, and special moves that only last a few seconds. There's so much more to mind there. Going back to Arena Fighters for another release feels like a step backward.
This is the dumbest review I've ever
Games
seen in my
industry
life.
has a bad habit of releasing rinse and repeat sequels.
The last fucking Budokai Tenkaichi game we got was 17 years ago. The game was so old that the last time I played it was on the Nintendo fucking Wii. What kind of dumb argument are you giving saying this is a rinse and repeat sequel when they've done everything in their power to avoid giving us a sequel to that game and trying different things?
And we tend to reward it by buying every new sports game or Call of Duty year after year.
Okay, Call of Duty is a really bad example. Sure, the core functions play the same, but there's different weapons, there's different mechanics, there's different gadgets, there's different things to learn. Controls change pretty much every year. Not so much now, considering it's all developed on the same engine, and Warzone is reliant on these games playing the same. But you can't just sit there and tell me Black Ops 2 is pretty much the exact same game as Black Ops 3, because that's just not the case. Or you can't tell me that Black Ops Cold War is the exact same game as Call of Duty World at War, because they're not. They're played similarly, they run on the same, well, they run on the variant of the same engine, but they're not the same game. It's just a really stupid argument.
At least COD has a different story every time.
It's not just that. They have, I've mentioned this already, I'm not going to regurgitate it.
But Dragon Ball still retreads familiar ground. Want to see Goku sacrifice via special beam cannon in the Saiyan saga? Here it is. But you can switch to a first-person camera this time. Ultimately, Dragon Ball needs something more artful in execution.
They tried this, and that's what Raging Blast was. All the models in that game were hand-drawn, and the roster was as small as it was because it was really, really fucking difficult to do. To draw so many characters, hand-drawn mind you, was just too much. They can't do a hand-drawn style, so the best we got was this 3D cel-shaded look, and I'm honestly content with it because it looks really good.
Whatever the Dragon Ball equivalent to Slow Clap's 2021 game Sifu, a 2D, 3D phase-shifting game like Pokken Turn.
So you mean Budokai? You mean Burst Limit? You know, games that have a similar type of gameplay formula to Tekken and Pokken, you know.
Or maybe something tight and technical with balanced, ranged, and melee combat, like Armored Core 6.
You mean Kakarot? Okay.
According to Bandai sales data, the Dragon Ball franchise has experienced diminishing returns since 2020. It requires innovation if it's going to continue at this clip.
Why is this fan game?
So why go back to the well for another nostalgia fest? Being the official Tenkaichi 4 could be the kick in the pants the franchise needs, but I think a new, exciting direction is the way to go. This game will no doubt sell millions on name recognition alone, but I think its impact will quickly fade. I don't think we'll talk about it the same way years after release. I hope I'm proven wrong, though. A lot of people look back fondly and call Tenkaichi 3 a high watermark, and they deserve to be happy too. One of my friends is really excited about this game and couldn't give a flying nimbus about the game style being played out. I hope DBZ Sparking Zero is more than the same thing in prettier packaging. I hope it outdoes itself and is more fun than I got from the matches I played. Maybe it'll exceed expectations, but mine are very tempered. In the meantime, I'll be open for a better use of the license.
I've never seen someone suck off fighters so hard that they that they stole fan art of a sequel. I've never seen someone glaze fighters so much that I've seen it for more than half the video. I can't wait to see Hammer rip into this dude. This guy is one of the most dumbest game reviewers I've ever seen in my entire life. He clearly knows little to nothing about the Dragon Ball series. He clearly knows little to nothing about how video game development works. He clearly knows nothing about what made the original Dragon Ball game special, and just marks them down, all of them down, as an arena fighter. Instead, he clings onto a modern example of a game that's pretty straightforward and pretty good, to say the least, but it's not in any way relevant to this review, and in any way relevant to this genre of Dragon Ball fighting game. I've been recording for 50 minutes. My throat is as dry as this guy's taste in video games. So yeah, I'm just going to end up and say that this is the worst review of Sparking Zero I've ever seen in my life. I think this is the worst game review I've ever seen in my life. What's the like ratio? I need to check this before the video ends. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for watching. Yeah. Don't listen to this dude.